Hello, everybody. Welcome back. This is the Powered Up Podcast, episode 7. I'm your host, PowellGuyGaming. I'm joined by Big Imperial and Shumo and Sleepless Elite. Guys, say what's up.
Yo, what a guan.
Dang, you can't top that. You can't top that. And
greetings, fellow powered up humans.
there we go. That's more like it. And we're bringing some more gaming and entertainment news to you guys again. Episode 7, baby. We're going to be talking about, in the gaming section, No Man's Sky's comeback, more Fortnite, Epic Games, Epic Games Worth, and we're going to also be diving into kind of our thoughts on what makes a great game. And for entertainment, we're going to be talking about Google. They got fined by Android. Talking about 6ix9ine, everybody's favourite rapper. Getting robbed, kidnapped, and R. Kelly, he admitted to everything. So
trapped in the closet.
Trapped in the closet.
So let's
Why was he there then? Think about it now. Why was he there?
Because inside there was a midget. I mean, little person. Oh, it's 2018. I can't be a midget.
Oh my days. So let's go
Could you
ahead
imagine
and
your wife cheating on you on the midget though?
I mean,
And then having,
And then what?
and then the child gets born, but with a side of a.
Well, that's calm because it's not my you.
But it's your wife.
Not anymore.
ooh.
Oh.
Yeah, that's right.
We'll save that for the podcast. Hey.
Yeah, that's right. Hey,
Okay.
that's
Alright.
right. Wifey, if you're listening to this, because if you're really my wifey, you would have listened to this. You already know what's up.
Right, I'm gonna just stop. Okay, so No Man's Sky, they're making a comeback. No Man's Sky released a new update, a new patch, a new game, essentially called No Man's Sky Next. If anybody does have the old version of No Man's Sky, you can download the new update for free, no extra cost, completely fine. They brought out a new update and they also released it for the Xbox One, so now you can play it on Xbox One, PC, and PS4. Which is awesome.
Yeah.
But we're with No Man's Sky and the new
No
update.
man lie.
No Man's Lie, that's it, right? They actually had a big reoccurrence of players. Anybody who doesn't know, when No Man's Sky released in 2016, it nearly had. I have it listed here. I can't speak shit. 230,000 players at one point, which is a lot. A lot of players. However, after a month or so, went down to 2,000 players. I got the game from my brother. Shout outs to you, bro. He let me borrow it and play it, and I was one of those 2,000 people that did not enjoy the game as much as I thought I would. So anyway, they came back, made this new update, released it on Xbox One, and now the player base is starting to rise again. With the update, they've added third-person co-op multiplayer. They've also added unlimited base building, and you're able to kind of host the session and join a session. Now, I've played the new update for it, No Man's Sky Next, on the PS4, streamed it on my channel like a true champion, and I can safely say it looks a little bit better. And the third person really does help it out a little bit. Mainly because the field of view in first person is kind of ace. But for the most part, the game is very, very similar. You still do the same objective. If anybody doesn't know what the objective was, I believe it was to get to the center of the universe. By going through the different systems. And to do that, you have to complete a series of objectives. That means crafting materials, upgrading your spaceship, and flying to the new planets and new galaxies and solar systems, all that good stuff, in order for you to get to where you need to get to. With the multiplayer, I did manage to actually get a little bit of multiplayer in. I hosted a session, and you're able to easily add and invite people to your game. And even though the person I added was not on the same planet as me, or in the same system, I could still see where they were located. The reason why that's so important is because a lot of issues with No Man's Sky was the idea that if I'm on the same planet and you're on the same planet, we can play together. Obviously, everybody knows that wasn't the case before the update. And they also tried to shoehorn a nice little pre-patch where they had it so if you were in the same spot as somebody else, you had like a little orb showing where you were. If anybody ever played Fable 2, for the Xbox 360. You will be familiar with that. If you're in the same spot as somebody else playing Fable 2, it shows like a little orb where of their character and says basically you can interact with that orb. That's what they were claiming to be multiplayer before this patch. Now they have full-fledged multiplayer. So, I've done speaking, saying my piece. I'm going to pass it over to the guys. Do you guys think, or are you guys, first and foremost, going to try out No Man's Sky next? Big, you can go first.
Nope.
Oh, damn! He didn't even give a reason. Why not? Why not, Big? Why not?
It's still a lie.
It's all a lie.
It's all a lie.
It's
It was all a dream.
Oh.
What's
Yeah,
a lie?
I've played a bit of the first one. Like, yeah, played a bit of the obviously when it came out, played a bit of it. Didn't like it at all.
So
Just not my type of it's not my type of game that I would prefer to play. Oh, God damn it! Who's messaging me?
I was gonna say, is it because the game is boring? Is it because the game's not your type of game, or is it because the game lied? So that's kind of the rules and the basis I'm gonna kind of go by.
Okay. It's. I won't say it's not my type of game because I don't mind games like that, but yeah, it's the whole. When I played it at first, it was literally nothing compared to the hype that it created. Especially like No Man's Sky before it released had so much hype around it.
Yeah, I did.
And then, it dropped. It was like, man. Oh, okay.
Is that their fault though?
Is that their fault that they
That
did
there was so much hype. I understand. Obviously, they promised stuff that wasn't in the game, but is the hype their fault?
No, I won't say the hype is their fault. The hype is always I'm just saying.
It's a hype or expectation.
Yeah, the hype. I'll say it was more expectation because of all the stuff they promised that would be in the game that they actually never implemented at all.
Yeah, I think that generated that hype for the most part. So
yeah,
when they showcased the game quite a lot and they talked about the game quite a lot, they talked with a lot of their feelings and plans for the game. But rather than talk about it and state that, it's stuff that will come over time and stuff that they'll be working on while the game's out. And be patient and whatever.
They allowed the hype to happen. That's the thing. They allowed people to get gassed over the game, and obviously thinking it will bring more revenue.
To be fair, to them, that's not really in their control because it's when people start running away with ideas, and like I understand what you're saying. They're running. They're like it is something that is semi under their control because they do control what we're seeing, but the hype around it, because hype tends to be something it's almost contagious. And one person, you see people get hyped, and everybody else is getting hyped, and everyone's like, "Oh, this is going to be like everybody's getting so hype over this." Like and some people are probably getting hype without actually looking into why.
Yeah.
They should be hype about it.
The thing is though, just to chip on that, and I'm going to ask you, Shimo, about whether you're going to get the game. Just to chip in quickly. My hype for the game, I didn't really have any hype at all. Mine came from other people. So it didn't even come from the developers, really. It came from other people. So my thing was, I heard from somebody else that, Power Guy, you're going to be able to fly to this planet, fly to that planet, mine this, fight this bad guy, fight that bad guy, and fly in your ship everywhere you want. And then I'm hearing, oh yeah, you're going to be able to find other planets and find other species. And then I heard, oh yeah, and if I'm in the same spot and you're in the same spot, it's going to be sick because we're going to be able to see each other and trade stuff. And it's like it just kept on going and going and going and going and going. And when I actually sat down and listened to what the developers had to say, it's not that they didn't bring the hype to that level, but they definitely never took the time to lay it, like draw a line and say this is what the game's gonna be, right? So they kind of left it to the people to interpret it their own way. But Shumo, are you gonna try out No Man's Sky next?
I'm not sure. I mean, I'm not running to it. It was never really something I was super interested in.
Yeah.
I like co-op games though. So if I happen to like get a copy or whatever for really cheap or on PlayStation Plus or something like that, I'll give it a go, I guess. It looks cool, but I don't know. Some of it's just not really about it.
Yeah,
Like it looks a bit Minecrafty, collector Sonny.
that's essentially what it is. I'll briefly kind of just talk a little bit and then I'll move on to you, Sleep. It's the best way to explain it is here's your objective. You're on a random planet. Here's your objective: fix your ship. In order to fix your ship, you've got to obtain this ore and this ore, craft this bit to that bit, locate this piece, use that piece with that piece. Eventually, you're able to manifest a thruster pack or whatever and fix your ship, and you can go to the next place. And you keep doing that until you find signals, or you find a way to kind of get out of that system and move on to another system. So it's a lot of crafting, it's a lot of mining, it's a lot of exploring, right? And with the multiplayer, it makes it less, less lonely, if that makes any sense. My major gripe was just before the patch, it was just lonely. And now, with the patch, I only played it with one other person, I didn't find that person. It still was kind of lonely, you know what I mean? But I can imagine once you meet up and stuff, it can be a bit more exciting. That idea of being able to join I think it's 16-man lobby, being able to join a 16-man lobby and actually work your way up to finally find somebody is a bit more entertaining than just walking around aimlessly doing what the objectives say to do. So anyway, Sleep. So question is, are you going to try out No Man's Sky next?
Damn.
And if not, why?
Yes.
Yes. Wow.
Because he loves it.
Let me just preface it by this. I was one of those people that got hyped for this game, not through other people.
Okay.
So I remember telling Sheems this. I don't know if I told Big this. I'm not sure if I told you this.
You definitely did.
I said for me, this was going to be a day one thing. And then as soon as it dropped, start hearing people talking mad crud. And I was like, I defended this game for a brief moment. I was like, no. I was like, these lot are lost. Like, what's going on? And then I'm seeing all of this stuff and I'm seeing people actually coming out with videos showing that they actually are in the exact same spot or like right in front of each other because of things they promised. And this is where I think that people were not to blame. We were promised a product, didn't get it. People were very justifiably upset. So am I going to get this? If I don't get it for free, I'm not getting it.
So
if it doesn't get given away with one of the PlayStation Plus months or whatever, I'm not getting it.
So like, let me just interject right there. So No Man's Sky, who's the people that create? Let me have a look at the game case. Hello Games.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
right.
goodbye games.
So Hello Games. They start off. They had a rocky start. They're not the most trustworthy people.
Rocky,
right? Whatever. But I can tell you this: they have some sense about them. Reason for it being is because one, they didn't give up on their product. You know, a lot of developers are just like, oh shit, we had a bad start, so fuck it, we're just gonna stop the game. Right? The game felt like it was in beta, but it wasn't. It was finished, and a lot of beta early access games, a lot of developers just give up. They have a lot of potential, but just like, fuck it, let's start again, do something fresh. And they stuck through it, and they did pretty well. Where I think they are manipulating and twisting it, twisting people or finessing people, let's say that word, is they decided that with this new patch, if you have the game already, you're going to get the update for free, right? And they're selling it as it's the new game. So it's not really like it's not a new game, it's just a patch, but they're kind of shoving it around like, yo, new game, new update, new blah, 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 blah. And then they proceed to sell it on the Xbox One for full price. So you can go to
They're not even that sorry.
You can go to any store, right, anywhere, and buy that game for about £7 pre-owned. If you wanted to, £10, let's say £10 pre-owned, right? And they had the nerve to then now sell the game brand new on the Xbox One for £34 off, and it's 40 quid. Honestly,
I don't believe that that's 100% to do with them though.
Right.
No, some of the pricing is due to Xbox themselves.
Yeah.
Right.
the developers always get a percentage, so they have to basically they have to do some finagling, basically get it onto the Microsoft store, but then Microsoft will take a percentage of how much they sell it for, and then obviously Hello Games would take whatever's left over, I guess.
Because my understanding of it was, my example for this is Street Fighter. Street Fighter always have Street Fighter, then you have Super Street Fighter, then you have Ultra Edition Street Fighter, then you have Champion Edition, and you have all these stupid editions. It's the same damn game, yeah? They just throw like 4 different characters in there, give everybody a new skin or something, and they're like, yo, it's a new game. Right? But often, a lot of the times, they sell that second part, that DLC essentially, for a little bit cheaper. So Street Fighter 4 is a good example. Street Fighter 4 came out full price like any normal game would. When they released the arcade edition, with a lot more characters than obviously the first edition had, and the Super Edition had, but it came out for like 20 quid. So it's like half the initial price, right? Because it was sold kind of like it wasn't a full game, but it was it had full game, capabilities and whatnot, right? That's why I thought
Capcom.
Yeah, and that's what I thought No Man's Sky would have done, or Hello Games would have been like. However,
but then wasn't Ultra like £30 there?
Ultra was, you could get Ultra, I believe it was 25, I think it was, when it first came. I think it was, I'm pretty sure it was. It wasn't the full price of 4. You know what I mean?
The only difference I would say with that is the Street Fighter versions are like separate hard copies, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So that patch and that DLC is there on the disc as part of that game.
Yeah.
Whereas on this, it's still No Man's Sky, the regular game.
Yeah.
But it's a free update, this next thing.
Right, okay.
But yeah, usually when games like release later on, they usually come out at their full price or whatever.
Yeah.
So like Crash Bandicoot, for example, came out on Switch and Xbox this year.
Yeah.
After a year of exclusivity for PS4 or whatever. They come out like full price, like £35 or whatever the retail was for it or whatever. But obviously on PS4, because it's already been out on PS4 for a year, it's cheaper. It's just how kind of markets work, really.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, all in all, guys, because obviously I'm the one who's played it, I can say to you this: if you can get a squad and you can get you guys all together, because I don't know if you can join a session and be on the exact same planet. I don't think that works like that. I think everybody just spawns in based on wherever the hell your character is from the single player, right? So if you get all yourselves together, you can see all your characters and trade stuff and all mine together. I can imagine it being pretty good, especially with the flying. The flying is pretty awesome. Being able to go through the space and shoot asteroids and then also get shot at as well. It's pretty cool and stuff. But for the most part, the game, I would say you either wait and get it pre-owned, or you wait for it to go free on PlayStation Plus. And I do think it's going to go free on PlayStation Plus, because I think
that's the only way I'm getting. That's the only way I think a lot of people would play it.
I think that'll be a smart.
I can saying that as well.
I think that'll be a smart way to kind of get more traffic towards it. You know what I mean? Because I think they would hate to bring out the update as kind of like an apology in a way, and then
make you pay money for that as well.
No, and then nobody play it. You know what I mean?
But I mean, for me personally, I feel as though there are better games that do what No Man's Sky is trying to do.
I don't think there is.
Okay.
What games do you think that's better than No Man's Sky?
Say what you mean then, innit? Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So there's Star Citizen. Like I personally played that. It's granted. These are. I understand the point of No Man's Sky sort of being a lot more easy to pick up and much more entry level. That's why I wouldn't but when it comes to like some of the things it's trying to do, which is the exploration and the planet stuff and linking up with people, like Star Citizen is better at it.
Is Star Citizen on consoles though?
No, but that's why I'm going to mention Elite Dangerous is on console, because I played Elite Dangerous on PC, and it's still like it's like Star Citizen but a lot more toned down. But there's but it's one of the things, there's still semi a storyline to it. It's a case of whether you want to find it or not. but like it does things better. And also, as far as I know, the difference between them is the fact that you can link up weapons. Somebody's managing energy outputs and stuff like that in Elite Dangerous, whereas it seems like with No Man's Sky, No Man's Lie, that you're all like in separate ships.
Yeah, you are definitely in separate ships. I don't think there's a way for you to get into.
But then that's a game doing two different things. Then. Right?
No, I'm talking about from what you can do. Like, because anything I feel like because from what I've seen of No Man's Sky, anything that you can do in that you can do in Elite Dangerous. We'll ignore Star Citizen because it's not on the same platform, so it's a different story. Because obviously we're trying to keep it. We're supposed to rate these two things as console.
Is Elite Dangerous procedural? No Man's Sky is like everything's procedural based.
Yeah.
Is that what they say?
No, because I think with Elite Dangerous, I think it is, but it's what they've actually promised. What they're saying they like what No Man's Sky was like. It's all one big thing. Oh, it's one. So there's a European server and I think there's a European server, an American server, and an Asian server.
Okay.
And I think that's how it's all linked up. So you're all in the same thing because it's identified by because you see these little dots flying about because also usually these people are traveling at like light speed or whatever, and that's how you can see where people are and stuff. And on the radar you can actually choose to click onto that ship and message them and be like, oh, blah 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 blah, and you can actually like talk to them and stuff like that. Yeah. I think that's cool. Like the whole mining thing, you can do that in Elite Dangerous. The exploration thing, you can do that in Elite Dangerous.
Yeah, I was going to ask because I've never played Elite Dangerous, so you can land on planets and.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, because they react because this was ages ago. This is long before No Man's Sky was even like announced. So there's Elite Dangerous, and then they released a thing like you see how it's like Street Fighter. It's like Street Fighter, then Super Street Fighter, DLC. So on and so forth. They released the DLC. Regardless. They released something called Elite Dangerous Horizons, I think, which is when you could land on planets and you could drop out of your ship into a rover, and then you could just like mosey on about. I think there's weapons because there's like aliens and stuff, but you can land on planets and stuff like that. Like this was what No Man's Lies was promising has already like been done. But it was just the art style. I think it's more the style because. No Man's Sky looks a lot more cartoony.
Yeah, I think No Man's Sky is definitely more visually pleasing.
It's a lot easier to take in, whereas obviously Elite Dangerous is it would be what we would assume to be very photorealistic.
And also as well, one last little addition to No Man's Sky before I move on is No Man's Sky's interface and stuff like that is not very difficult to use. If you just pick up the game first time ever playing a video game. It might look a little bit daunting at first, but everything's kind of explains what to do and where everything is, and okay, what I need to do is click on an empty slot in my inventory, and then it shows me what I can make and how to make it. You know what I mean? It's very beginner. It seems to be very beginner friendly on this update compared to when I first played it. It's funny I say that though, because when I first played the game, I got stuck and I got lost and I died. And when I played the game, in the update, I got stuck, I lost, and I died. but the difference was that the update it was just I didn't read what was given to me. You know what I mean? I didn't read the log, didn't check the quest marker and what to do, and eventually the planet. The planet was just like, "Nah, mate, you're gonna die from toxicity." And I just died because I couldn't breathe in it. I didn't follow the game. That's the reason why. So no one. Should have put my inhaler. Indeed. No Man's Sky. All I'm saying, guys, we do powered up stuff all the time. Co-op. I would love to play the game co-op with you guys, but I can't justify. I can't go to you guys, go buy the game.
I can't just. I would not justify. I wouldn't. Honest to God, I wouldn't pay 50p for this. Like, if I'm not getting it for free, I'm not getting it.
I couldn't say go buy the game mainly because I haven't bought the game. I still got my brother's copy. Thanks, bro. But still, I don't think I could. I don't think I could tell you guys, hey, let's go buy No Man's Sky and go play. Also because you sometimes on video games you frustrate me, man. So that game was.
Wait, hold up.
So let's not get into this. You're just gonna get embarrassed. Let's just whiz past this. Yeah, you still got. Don't try and drag this argument out until it's your birthday, so we can't say anything.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna let you hold that shit.
I refuse to hold it.
You're holding it.
I carry on though.
Yeah, we're gonna move on to Epic Games and their worth. I think their net worth, right? Mm-hmm. Epic Games are the company that create Fortnite, everybody's favorite game. And then,
Fortnite and the Unreal.
Yeah, and
Unreal Tournament done now.
Unreal Tournament's fire. And they have got extremely wealthy. That's the best way to explain it, right? Yeah, extremely wealthy. I got IGN. They did like an article or a post, basically explaining that their net worth or their worth size is between 5 billion and 8 billion, which to me.
But what was it from before?
875 million.
Yeah, 875.
825.
Right, 75.
They're making all that
25
coin.
here on my screen.
All of that Mario coin.
Which is crazy to me. I wanna shout out one of my viewers. He does YouTube too. Another YouTuber. Up, down, left, right. He made it clear to me. He actually sent me a comment on my last post podcast. A huge comment. Please don't.
Oh yeah, I read it.
Please don't send another comment that long, please.
No, do it again.
Thank you for the comment though. It was long. As long as the point is, he basically explained how Paragon is also, an Epic Games game, right? And they stopped working on Paragon, cancelled that to work on Fortnite.
Oh yeah, I remember telling you guys. What is it?
They actually refunded everyone's money as well from everything that they ever paid for.
You know what I mean? Which is insane. My thing is the whole
because they can afford to do that.
The whole thing is Epic Games seem to be on this roll where they just seem to be doing everything right. They got the game, they got the platforms, right? It's not like multiple platforms. They got the platforms. They do the community side very well. In terms of balancing, in terms of keeping people updated, in terms of getting people involved, in terms of just displaying the patch notes. Does anybody read patch notes here for games?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Right.
If the game interests me enough.
I play 2K. All right. 2K, NBA 2K. Right. They don't do good patch notes. Okay, their patch notes are ace. Fortnite on the other hand, right? Fortnite on the other hand, at least tell you what the fuck is going on when the game has another gigabyte added to the damn game, right? So they seem to be doing everything right at the moment, and it just goes to show if a company, just starts doing certain things right, They just keep growing and growing, man. And it's funny because 2 weeks ago I was talking about how are they going to be able to survive when it comes to September, October, November. Obviously they are. So, question is, guys, is this surprising to you? Did you guys ever imagine Fortnite to be able to take off like this, man?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like this, though.
Yeah.
Fortnite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo,
how many times are you gonna make me say yeah, bruv?
No, I'm just trying to just.
Okay, I'll give you my reason. I'll give you my reason why.
Okay.
My reason being for Fortnite being able to take off. Okay, for starters, number one, it is free. You don't have to pay anything to get this game. You can, apart from technically PSN, but let's just pretend that's not a thing. Like you could somehow weasel your way to keep getting 2 weeks.
No, it's still free, I think.
Oh yeah, I'm saying because it's still free to get, but
no, I think it's free to play without PSN.
I mean, you can play without PSN. A lot of the free-to-play games, I think all of them, you can play without PSN.
Well, Bomber Kloop, then the game is free regardless.
PS Plus, sorry, not PSN.
Yeah. 2, it's easily accessible. It's something that's not hard to do. It's literally the objective of the game mode is simple. Just be the last one to survive. Whether it's you're on a team of 50, a team of 4, a team of 2, or...
But do you guys think that is 5... Do you guys think that that's good enough to make somebody's
Hear me out why. I'm still
high?
there.
Yeah, go on.
Because then, so it's easily accessible. That means all ages are able to play it. But it's also a case of it then, which is also a thing for number 2, which is also 3. It's the fact of it's something that people like to watch, because the reason being is because people might see something and want to replicate it, and because people started being mad creative with like building. Because remember, there was a point where nobody was building, and then suddenly everybody starts building, and the next thing you know, you're seeing literal fortresses being built in seconds.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of creativity that can go into this game.
Also, sorry to cut you off. To shout out Epic Games, they've really...
Whoa, bruv, fix your mic. No, let's see, it just went...
No, your mic's good now. Your mic's good now.
Good now, yeah. Good. Okay. Shout out to them though, but they're really kept up to date. What I feel that's really propelled them is keep it up to date with pop culture.
Same. I believe
so. Like keeping up to date with like all the current dance moves. It's basically
whatever's relevant, they make.
Yeah, whatever's relevant, they maintain it into the game. Yeah, like.
And that still ties into the whole creativity thing, because now they had the update where obviously the new map, but also not only just that, they keep doing stuff. They keep, because here's the main thing of it, and it's not only, and this ties in with the cosmetics and everything else. They keep keeping things up to date, and they keep adding new stuff. So there's new emotes, there's new skins, there's new weapons, there's new items that people can use. Like now there's apples and mushrooms that you can just eat. Like it's
apple.
The thing I think that is still the thing as well. It's the fact of, because of what happened, like it started getting so much buzz. Like you remember, we heard Drake and Ninja were playing or whatever, and when Drake hops on anything, people just follow. Like we're not even gonna try it. It's because Drake is that guy. Like it's one of those things where if Drake shouted any one of us out, we are going to blow up. Like type of thing. They'd be like, oh yeah, I love PG.
Him.
Keep your shit. You vulture. But yeah, like it's one of those things where, like, you know, he shouts. Imagine he jumps in and whatever, shouts out one of us. Yeah. Imagine what will happen in our next live stream. Like,
watch how you speak on my name, eh?
But yeah, and it's the fact that there's been so much of a driving force behind Fortnite. But the other thing that I think that people are enjoying as well is when you get a victory royale, you get the slow-mo, and then people are doing their emotes in the slow-mo to get the slow-mo emote. So like it brings new things for people to do to keep the game fresh, and that's what they keep doing. They keep adding in new things, taking away other things. Like so how, you know, Dusty Depot is now Dusty Divot. The thing in the corner is now Paradise Palms. They're adding stuff and taking things away. So even remnants of their old game are lost, and it's like nobody will be able to play that exact rendition of the game. They keep keeping things very brand new. Like it's the case of you could play this game literally once every 2 months, let's say, because that's roughly the seasons. You're playing a new game each season.
So,
from what it seems like, they're playing a new game, or it just gets,
and they're just adding to the story. Just like,
I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't say story, but they're adding to whatever lore is behind whatever is surrounding certain things.
Yeah, but that is the story. The lore.
It's not a story though. It's literal lore, because I don't mean lore as in a story. It's just like because you couldn't tell me there's a storyline to Fortnite. It's just a case of things go missing. It's as time goes on. It's not a story. It's just shit that happens.
It's
like God of War is a story.
It's information. It's information on the world. I get that. Shumo, what do you think, man? Were you expecting their worth to go this high off one game mode?
It's a lot. I'm not gonna lie.
And what do you
like
think
you said, it's one game mode, and like it made like not too long ago it made $1 billion, and that's just on cosmetic shit.
Team No Skin.
No. Obviously, I would imagine that number would include their other game mode, as well.
Yeah,
because we have to remember Fortnite started as this other thing.
Yes. Save
And
the world.
Yeah, and it was struggling.
World.
It wasn't doing well at all. It was out for a little while, and it wasn't doing that great. And then obviously somebody had the brilliant idea to cap PUBG Steez, and obviously it worked out amazingly for them. To go from under 1 billion to 8 billion in 6 years is mad.
Ridiculous.
Everyone's getting promotions.
Trust me. I wanna. No, go on. Finish.
Yeah, I wish I was at that office party.
Oh my days! Could you imagine how lit that would be, bro?
Oh, you see carrying the recorder, getting waved. You see Michael from HR.
Michael from HR. What was I gonna say? But yeah, I think its rise to success is everything that what Sleep said. Like it being free, it being accessible, it being available on all these other platforms and stuff like that. Which I think we've covered before. Go on.
See, I want to add something which we've not covered before, and this is going to also tie into our next topic. So I'm going to be really brief because I want to talk about it in the next topic rather than giving away all my ideas. I think it really comes down to what we are, YouTubers and streamers, and the community. So the game, obviously, like you guys explained, does so many things well already. I think what keeps the buzz, the hype, and the energy alive is the streamers and the YouTubers and the people that live and the cosplayers and whatever else for the game for that game community. I think the game,
100%. It's the popular culture around it,
right? It's
like
no, finish your thought.
No, yeah, I was gonna say like it's the same with like big songs.
Yeah.
A lot of these songs get big off of like challenges, like or dances associated with it, and it's meme culture. Like exactly that. For example, if that kid didn't do that dance or whatever with that song wouldn't have gone number one.
Nope.
Like, it's things like that. When you attach yourself to like people's everyday culture, it's gonna grow. Fortnite is everywhere now. Dude, it's in like it's memes, it's like little video. I see people create little comedy videos all the time of them running around with super soakers and jumping and acting like they're in Fortnite.
I come home and my little brother's telling me how to do the Orange Justice dance. First it even had a name to it. Yep. It was just a dance move that I just knew all around. He was like,
yeah, listen, people's grandparents are talking about this game. Like that's how mad it is. Kids are going to the game shops. They're not wanting to buy games. They want to buy credit so they can buy skins. Like the impact of this game.
I wanna add one last thing, right? Shout outs to Ben. All right, I'm pretty sure you're gonna listen to this. So my friend Ben, right? He works at like a little retail store, right? And he says the same kid comes in every 2 weeks and buys the same thing. What does he buy? PSN points, £20 worth. What does this little kid go and spend those £20 PSN points on? The first thing I said, joking and laughing, was V-Bucks. I said, this kid's coming to the shop every fortnight, right? To buy V-Bucks for Fortnite. Laughing and joking. Ben's like, you know what? I asked him. I goes to him, I see you every other week. You know, you're buying these PSN points. I play PlayStation. What are you playing? The kid's like, I come to buy some V-Bucks. My mum gives me money every 2 weeks, and I just spend it on V-Bucks. Dude, I was dying with laughter. I could not stop laughing. I was like, this kid really got that addiction. this kid every 2 weeks, right, is really going to the same shop, meeting the same people, buying the same damn freaking PSN wallet credit or whatever to buy some V-Bucks, man. That's great. That's crazy.
Yeah, but wait, let me pose this to you. Is that much different from us like collecting Pokemon cards?
No, it's not. 'Cause I was gonna say I was not because I remember I used to. I don't know if anyone ever. No one probably does. But I used to collect these magazines called Toxic. Has anyone ever heard of the magazine, like gaming magazine called Toxic? Anyway, I used to go to Tesco every single week, right? My freaking. Why are you laughing for, bro? Can I tell the story? Can your boy speak?
No, it was the fact of you were like, oh, okay, no one knows what I'm talking about. Okay, let me just move on so quick.
Long story short is, right, I've been in that boat where you find something and you just keep buying, you keep falling into it, and I think it's just crazy how Fortnite went from what it was to how it is. But
from zero to hero, basically.
But deep this though, last point on Fortnite. The deep this though, people have been trying to figure out ways to explain how Fortnite's gonna die, right? Because obviously it's so big. Everyone's like, "Yo, Fortnite's gonna die because of this. The game's boring now. It's doing the same thing. It's this, it's that." Everyone's trying to figure out a way to see it collapse, right? And I think, and I've been saying, basically, what about Save the World? So Epic Games was supposed to drop Save the World because for free. They had the game mode, and they're saying after a year,
I
we'll
heard
drop it for
this
free.
as well.
And it didn't. So
But so they're not dropping it free anymore?
no, I don't think so. Well, it's not. It's been a year, so I'm like, it was Fortnite's first birthday the other day. So it's like,
Yeah, if they're gonna do it, that would definitely have been a time.
yeah, right. But anyway, that's just think about that one. So anyway, moving on to the next point. This one I'll try and keep short, but I can imagine it might be quite hard for people to think of this one. But anyway, question is, what is the first game that comes to mind when someone asks you about a great game, or what makes a great game and why? So what's the first game that comes to mind if I go to you, Big? Hey, Big, what's a great game and why? What's the first game that comes to your head?
It's a story.
Dokie, Literature Club.
It could be
Wow.
any game you played,
Wow.
any video game you played.
He's asking you a game. What game?
Oh, what game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
God of War.
God of War, and why?
It's just a story, man.
You know about that. Sorry.
That's cold blooded, man. That's cold blooded.
Sorry, it's not midnight yet. I'm sorry.
That's cold.
Cold like his frost axe.
Oh.
That's
That's right. You gotta unlock that yet.
Oh. So, if you guys want to know why, such bastard. Basically, I don't know if we talked
Oh
about
no,
this in the
we
last.
explained the story before. Please. We don't need to
okay,
relive your
so-
tragedy.
Okay. F y'all.
So,
F y'all.
okay, so
Yeah, God of War.
because of the story, right?
Yeah, no, the story, the mechanics of it itself. I'm a big God of War fan. So I played the first one from like PS2 days. So, PS2 was the first one on PS2.
Pistol.
Yeah.
Yeah, PS2. Yeah. So I'll say the story has to be there.
Yeah.
The mechanics of it has to run well.
Yeah.
The layout of it, so like graphics wise and how the game actually looks as well, is a factor. And then just how what a good game does is when you really look at the little things they do. So the things that you probably won't even deep until you properly look into it, because it just makes the game look so natural.
Give us one spoiler-free example. Just one.
You don't know, it got deleted.
I was trying to keep quiet, you know. I was really trying. I was like, let me not do it to him. Thank you.
If you do not know, I have one. I have one.
Yeah, okay, you say your one and I'll say mine after.
My one is the characters' interactions with the world and each other. I think it's pretty cool how like the way each character has a feeling about another character in the game, right? Especially the two dwarfs. Those motherfuckers hate each other, but they love each other at the same time. So that'll be one of my picks for it.
Yeah, my one would be is they teach you the law of the mythology. What's the mythology again?
Norse.
Norse mythology. So you don't even have to be playing the game, as in like doing missions. You could just be going around doing side quests, and then once you're in the boat, the head starts talking to you, and then you learn about why is Thor an actual dickhead, or what actually happened with Odin and the rest of the giants and stuff like that. So you get to learn. I love games where they actually teach you. Yeah, I love games when they actually teach you about, okay, this is the game, but we're gonna teach you anything about the game and surrounding the game of it itself. So the mythology. Battlefield 1 did a great. Why I feel Battlefield 1 was like my favorite shooter for when it dropped 2017. Because I learned so much about World War One that I didn't know about. Like they literally submerged. It was literally like I wish my history classes like were taught like that, because my teachers were shit.
Hey,
like,
+1.
Your teachers were a lot of things, bro.
+1.
But yeah, no. Being able to learn while you're playing the video game is literally, I would say, top class for me. So that's what makes it, for me personally, what I believe makes a good video game.
Yeah. What about you, Shima? What about you?
When you asked the question, the first game that popped into my head was The Last of Us.
Yeah.
Last of Us is probably one of the best games I've ever played. And yeah, it's for kind of similar reasons that Big was saying about story. I really like narrative driven games that have a good story, that pay attention to small details, that have good voice acting, that like all of those things. The Last of Us was special to me because it, like any good story, it had me invested.
Yeah.
It had me paying attention to it, and again, it was little things, just like walking around with Ellie and some of the conversations that you would have with her. It fleshes out the world, and puts you in a perspective that you have no idea about. It's a zombie apocalypse. You don't know how things would be. And yeah, Naughty Dog did a really good job of that. But even like mechanically, I'm sure there are other games that do the third person shooting better, but this was still really good. Like you felt like the weight of the gun you were using. When you bash a zombie's head in with a brick, there's weight to it. Everything feels like every moment, like when you're fighting, feels tense, and you want to conserve your stuff, and it just puts you in a different headspace. It's kind of like not obvious things that you would pick up on, but like all these little things, they all add up to just make like a really great package. But that being said, the other thing next to story, I'd say gameplay is king. So anything with like really stellar gameplay will always prevail as well.
Yeah, I agree. What about you, Sleep?
Okay, so these men took my primary and secondary examples. The thing is, because I couldn't because there are too many. I feel like I've played way too many games.
It has to be off the top of the dome.
Well, the first one's God of War. That's the only thing I'm thinking of right now.
Okay.
But I can't say God of War. So I have to like start sieving. The one I played most recently is Street Fighter. But it's a great game for completely different reasons than these two, because what I know is these both picked story games. Whereas Street Fighter isn't so much of a story. It's not focused on story. It's focused a lot more heavily on gameplay and just other things that make games great. So for starters, just the obvious thing, you play against other people online. it's balancing characters, making sure that one doesn't feel crazy overpowered than another one, and it would just make sense to use another one. Like it's effective. You have, depending on how good you are, you have an equal chance of beating whoever like the other person, whoever they're deciding to use. Also, it's the network, so how well the game actually works online. Making sure that there's like not a lot of latency, because obviously there is some things they can't control, which is, you know, on either user's end, but obviously like their servers, they're the ones that are actually handling the matchmaking and the latency and how many frames it's actually dropping and blah blah blah. And it's just things like that, things that just make the interaction between two people who are potentially not anywhere near each other, but not anywhere near each other, smooth. Yeah.
You know what's funny? That's how I know we all play and all associate with the same similar type of games, right? Because Big, you said God of War. Shumo, I'm pretty sure you were gonna say God of War, if not Last of Us. Sleep, you were gonna say.
No, genuinely, Last of Us was the first thing that popped into my head.
Oh, okay, nice.
But I do love God of War.
Yeah, right. Sleep, you were gonna say God of War and Last of Us. You said Street Fighter, and I'm gonna say Street Fighter. Right? So it's like as if we all planned this, right? What I mean? And reason for me being Street Fighter is because many other games, they do things great, whatever. Games do things good and whatever, right? But for me, Street Fighter, one thing it does really great that draws me into it every single time is its community. Right? I love the whole I'll beat your ass and trash talking. Yo, you can't step to my Ryu. It's, you know, whatever, it's godlike or whatever, right? I love that whole interaction, and also the community is spread worldwide over years. Like, you know what I mean? It's not like I'm just talking Street Fighter 5. I'm talking like Street Fighter 2. Street Fighter 2. It's in the arcade, so it's like the old school style of playing.
Like for me, that's why, because also you've been tuning into my series every now and again. That's why I've been going backwards, so I can deeper understand what Street Fighter used to be and where it is now. Like, I appreciate the new Street Fighters now so much more than I did like 3 months ago, for instance, because I'd never about 3 months ago, I'd never touched Street Fighter,
right?
Ever. Right. Played it, I wanted to cry. I'm not even gonna try front. I wanted to cry because it was so frustrating, because it was so clunky and difficult. But then obviously you then come back to what we have now, and it's the fact of inputs are so much easier now. And I even think that some of the older games mechanics need to come back into the new ones. So like characters all being able to parry, that for me is like, you know, Pete, you saw me playing today. Like, I'm starting to I've been able to parry stuff at will. Like before, it'll be accidental. Now I'm trying to do it on purpose, and it's working. But it's a case of it's built my appreciation for the Street Fighter series, playing back in the old ones.
You know, and I think for me it's like, you know, very similar to what you got to say, but for me it's just the reason why I love it so much. One, the community, and two, it really comes down to community for me, because I went from watching my brothers and my sisters play to me trying to play the game and not being able to beat them or the AI. Okay, on the easiest difficulty, I'm getting bodied. Right? To learning how to throw a fireball, throw a dragon punch, or, you know, hurricane kick or whatever, and going to beat my brother, beat my sister, blah blah blah, blah, and learning all the different characters and beating the AI, right? To thinking I'm the sickest guy on the streets, nobody can test me, all right? Over here in the UK, I'm the greatest of all time. to then going online.
Let's not skip over that.
Right? Right? To then going online and getting bodied. You know what I mean? Like, and that to me is like a whole game. It's a whole mindset, which is insane. Cause it's like, oh yeah, you know, I'm really cool at this game. I'm really good at this game. And then you go online and you get bodied, or you go, you know, away from your neighborhood or your street. You play some other people that have been playing it too, that are from a different neighborhood and they play a different style. And you get beaten by them, and you learn that way. And then now you got online tournaments. You got videos and stuff like that on the internet and stuff. And like that to me is like a big community all coming together for years of this one series, this one franchise. And that's the reason why I choose Street Fighter as like one of the games that first spring into my head as a great game. Obviously, there's other games too, but that's for another topic for another day. Does anyone else have anything else they want to add to gaming before we move on to entertainment?
I have. Sorry, go on.
I did have something, but I can't think of it right now. Go on, you go first.
Okay, so this is, I suppose, this is technically an intermission part. This is extremely off topic, but I thought I'd share it because it creeped me out.
Okay.
All I'm gonna say, I don't want to say too much on it, but go on YouTube and look up the phenomenon, the bloop. And yes, it's exactly how it sounds. Usually things don't tend to creep me out, but this really creeped me out, and I can't explain why. It's just weird. Like, I suggest all of you go check out the bloop and just watch the first video you see. It should be about 10 minutes 16 long. Just pre it. It's just bare weird.
Spell it for the people.
So it's THE space BLOOP.
Nice.
The bloop.
Is it a game?
Nope. It's a phenomenon.
Bloop.
I'll tell you what.
I don't want to give away too much because I want you to all be creeped out.
Scoop the whoop the bloop.
I thought this was meant to be gaming related.
No, I said it was. I said in the very beginning. This is very off topic, but seeing as we're here, because this is technically intermission time, but
No,
I got nothing. Well,
but it's fine.
I said it's unrelated. You could have stopped me there.
Scoop the bloop the bloop. It's a bloop bloop bloop. This
have you remembered your thingy?
No.
Okay.
All right, let's go over. Let's just.
Raw.
You know what? Sleep.
Outsiders.
Sleep. Good.
What games are you guys playing? What?
Okay, we're going back. We're going backwards again. Currently I'm playing Street Fighter 30th anniversary. I got one more game to finish, and then I finished all of them.
You see how happy this guy sounds? I wish I was as happy as this guy. I'm currently playing Destiny 2. I'm looking to start playing Elder Scrolls Online because Elder Scrolls Online Somerset is coming out on Tuesday, the 31st. So I really want to get my character like prepared for that shiz. I'm gonna probably buy it too and stream it live, raw and uncut on the YouTube Gaming. That's youtube.com/PowellGuyGaming. Oh, that plug was sick. All right, someone else go. Someone else go. That plug was sick.
What about you?
Something like Nelson.
I'm not really playing anything, to be honest. I've been playing Fortnite on the Switch.
You need to play that Harry Potter, you know what I'm saying?
A lie.
Harry Potter, you know
A lie.
So what did you say you're playing, son?
But yeah, I've been playing a bit of Fortnite on the Switch, a bit more.
Have you won
just
yet?
casually. Me and Sleep have been winning quite a few games, actually.
I saw an Instagram video. I was wondering, yeah, my mind. Whatever.
And I did win a solo game as well.
Hey,
Did you get it on footage?
Only Nintendo's little 30-second recording.
Nice.
So did I. I'm currently editing it as we speak.
Did you throw the basketball when you won?
Yeah. Oh no, that was when I won machines. This other one I did the gentleman's dab.
The gentleman's dab.
I swear that's literally just.
A very slow dab, yes.
Billie Jean and I dab. All right, go for it, Big. What about you? What you playing?
Currently playing South Park, the fractured butthole.
Did you make your character black?
Yes, of course.
Did you make him dark skin?
Yeah, yes.
Dude, you know you're playing on the hardest difficulty, right? You know that, right?
Bro.
How's that treating you on the hardest difficulty? Is it really that hard?
Was it like God of War?
It's
Oh my days. Now that game on hard difficulty is ridiculous.
I think you're looking for it's hilarious.
Ridiculous.
oh, you know, okay. Ever since.
Dude, I'm trying not to laugh, man. Go on.
Send your shots. Go on, get your shots.
I mean, it's
now.
not a shot; it's real life facts. Like...
Go on, Big. Finish. Fractured butthole. Anything else?
Nah, just that really, and FIFA career mode.
Ooh, what season you in?
FIFA 18. I am in four seasons deep now.
And who you playing?
Division 2.
Who you playing?
Oh, I'm playing with the mighty Arsenal. I can't lie, literally, just.
Oh, you happy about the victory they had the other day? 5-1 PSG.
I'm actually. Well, if we're want to really get into football talk.
No, I just asked if you're happy, just to see yes or no answer.
Moving on.
Yes, I am happy.
Okay, thank you. Yes, moving on.
Moving on to the entertainment section. We're gonna keep it nice, quick, and short for you guys. We've got some stories. First, starting off with Google, they got hit with a hefty fine.
Hefty, it's an understatement.
I mean,
Fortnite got hit a British chop.
I mean, Fortnite could handle it. You know what I'm saying? Like Epic Games can handle it, right? Like Google got hit with a record-breaking.
It was a rock record, right?
Yeah, 5 billion fine by EU regulators for breaking antitrust laws. Basically, Android basically fine. Well, they got fined by Android, sued by Android, whatever. I believe it's because Google was abusing the Android market.
Yeah.
And was it that they were stopping or blocking phone creators from running certain things on certain versions of Android, right? In Google. So I got basically, if I read it here from The Verge, I got you, don't worry, plug, all that thing. Google, it basically says Google has been bundling its search engine and Chrome apps into the operating system. Google has also blocked phone makers from creating devices that run forked versions of Android, and it made payments to certain large manufacturers and mobile networks to exclusively bundle the Google search app on handsets. Because of that, the European Commission now wants Google to bring its illegal conduct to an end in an effective manner within 90 days. What, 3 months, right? 9 days, 3 months? Yeah. 3 months.
Roughly.
Right, so basically by the end of this year, they need to get it sorted. So which means that Google will need to stop forcing manufacturers to pre-install Chrome and Google search in order to offer the Google Play Store on handsets. That's legit. I can see why people got pissy about that.
I mean, just saying, can Google be fined if they had their own little Brexit? Because then what are the EU going to do? Like, oh, we're not part of you, can do what we want. I don't think that's how it works, but it's just a question, isn't it?
Definitely not how it works. Google is not a country.
Hey, I'd rather ask and know than never ask and never know. But I was gonna say, like, I feel like this would be more of a hindrance to me because I just instantaneously get my phone and just download Google.
Right.
The only way to do what you're talking about is if Google stops selling its products in the European.
You can do that. Pull it.
But that's not what Brexit is.
In final part, Google said that it will appeal the decision. Android has created more choice for everyone, not less. A vibrant ecosystem, rapid innovation, and lower prices are classic hallmarks of robust competition. That was a Google spokesman. He said it in a statement to The Verge. Basically, they're going to appeal to the commissioner's decision and fix whatever bullshit that they're getting up to.
But then, so why aren't they going after Facebook and flipping Twitter as well? Because every time I get a phone, it's bundled with flipping Facebook and Twitter, and it's just long to get rid of.
You know probably why? Because Twitter and Facebook probably ain't making as much money as Google. So Android gotta go after the top dons, you know? Gotta go after the big heads. Gotta get that money. It's like you know when people say, "Oh yeah, I've been set up and they came after me for my money." That's what Android did. They said, "We'll get Twitter, we'll get Facebook when the time comes, but first and foremost in our site, we're going after Google, man. We're gonna make headlines. We're gonna break the world record of the highest fine, and Google gonna pay it." You know, that's what they're going for. So, does anyone want to add anything? Anyone want to add anything to this before we move on to the next topic?
Haha.
YouTube.com/Big Imperial.
Oh, wait, say it one more time. Say it one more time. They couldn't hear you, bro. Appropriate. All right, moving on. Oh man, that's crazy. So,
you have to be so nasty tomorrow.
So moving on to our next story. Classic 6ix9ine. Nigga flicky ya. Nigga pistol whippy ya. He got peeked up in it a little bit. He got pistol whipped, kidnapped, robbed, and rushed to the hospital.
This was 7 days ago, by the way.
Indeed, this was a week ago. You can find the full story. Oh my gosh, you can find the story online anywhere. Most places will have a fairly accurate thing, or you could go slide on academics because he does.
Before you finish, if you guys haven't seen, he's got a interview out with Angela Martinez on the Breakfast Club.
Yeah, I watched that today.
Yeah, he literally talks about like the whole situation. Like how his thoughts were. I haven't watched it, but heard a clip of it when he talks about like how he felt that if he didn't get out of the car, he was gonna die because they had taken everything from him already, and there was no point in him being in the car, but they kept him there. So
let me just give a quick brief overview. 22-year-old 6ix9ine, everybody's world famous troll. He basically got kidnapped, put in the back of a car, taken to his house, which the people that took him to his house obviously kidnapped him, went in the house and robbed. I think it was up to what was it, 750,000? That's how much they stole
in jewelry,
and about 50,000 to 20,000 in cash.
Oh, can you imagine?
Hit him, tied him up in the back of the car, and he actually managed to free himself and escape. Now, I don't know where you guys were when you heard this, but I was just flicking through my timeline, right? And then I saw it, and my first initial reaction, which I'm so bad for this, I just kind of chuckled a little bit. And because of that, I kind of chuckled a little bit because I'm like, yo, this trolling motherfucker is gonna get what he deserves, blah, 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 blah. Right? And then, right? Then I deeped it, right? I'm a 22-year-old dude. I'm a 22-year-old kid.
Yeah, truly part of the Gotham Money Man.
Right? And he's also 22. And I thought to myself, shit, imagine if I got beat up, pistol whipped, kidnapped in the back of the car, and he ran into my house and stole all my shit. Like, that to me is kind of crazy, right?
Jump on GTA, we can reenact that right now.
Alright, that was kind of crazy to me, right? So I was kind of like, yo, I hope this is one, a lesson for him to, you know, be careful and not troll people as much. I mean, troll people a little bit because that's your stick, but not so much. And also to, you know, don't think you're unstoppable, right? Because he was kind of like going around acting as if, hey, no one can catch him. And I know that's a shtick, but he was acting like that. And anybody can get you at any time, right? So,
you know, surprisingly, in that interview, he's still on Netflix.
Which is
he's basically trying to go off a technicality because he believes somebody in his circle got him. It wasn't somebody that he's been trolling or going after. So he still believes like he hasn't been touched. It's his own guys. So it's kind of.
But then, if it's your own guys, can you shut up?
Wait, hold on, what? Who are you talking to?
No, literally, I just heard. I heard that, and I was literally about to go off on 6ix9ine, and I just remembered he's probably not going to hear this. I just told him to shut up.
So get your viewpoint out, fam. Doesn't matter if he doesn't hear you. It's not for him.
No, but like,
it's for yourself, man.
If your circle.
Go on, preach it. Go on, brother Big.
So, if he's saying people, I'll feel more offended if somebody in my own circle was to set me up than if I was to get caught slipping by someone who I was talking doo-doo about on the internet.
See, I'm going to stop you right there because that is the logical way of thinking. 6ix9ine does not have a logical way of thinking, okay? That's why he gets on the internet with his rainbow dreads and his messed up teeth. He throws around...
First of all, they're not dreads, okay?
What?
It's
rainbow hair, bruv. It's just rainbow hair.
Okay.
Don't offend the dread-headed community.
My bad. You right.
Like you ain't got dread-headed flipping rainbow idiots running out there.
That's true. That is true. You do have some foolish dreads.
6ix9ine though.
they ain't 6ix9ine. That's, you know. Oh.
Hey, trust. Yes, right. Yes, Sleepless.
Sorry. I wasn't aware that he's not on the same level as like Uzi or flipping Pump.
Oh,
Hey, it's not Rainbow though, and I don't associate with them little Uchi Coochie niggas.
You don't associate with
I love
Takashi either, so what's the difference?
You mean I do? I like his music in the gym, bruv. I won't even lie. That's the only time I listen to his music. Oh, when you need that last little bit of energy in doing the set.
You know what's crazy? Wait, just a quick.
Actually, what is your guys' gym music?
Mine.
Yeah, so like, you need, if you need that,
Sometimes 6ix9ine.
you're doing like last 2 sets, yeah, last 2 sets.
I didn't know what
listen
Peaches is. Bugs him alone.
Bit of Bugs.
Oh my god.
A bit of Bugs Malone. All right, I gotta feel like I'm a gangster in the gym. If anyone steps to me, I got the gang, I got the 40. I need to shoot somebody, okay? So I need to feel like that, all right? Right.
What kind of gym you working out in? The HMP.
Right.
He's doing prison workouts.
And I
Just move. He's from the jailhouse.
I just listened to a bunch of like heavy hitting, hard bass,
Emo rap.
like instrumental. You guys are crazy. Like instrumentals, or I listened to a bunch of mumble rap because I can't understand.
We know what you listen to. The last set, you're on like rep 6, and then all you hear is Nina.
Guys, man, they set me up. They set me up.
Oh, you got treated like Rick.
Oh, they set me up. That's what I listen to.
Oh man.
But it's funny.
Oh, what about you?
No, go on, Shoops, you go.
I don't know. Just anything grime really usually gets you hype.
Okay. Fair enough.
Big.
For me personally, Meek Mill, man.
Me was good.
Meek Mill. Preferably Dreams and Nightmares.
Oh.
So that intro, the first song on Dreams and Nightmares, the intro, that's what gets me.
I feel like if I listen to Meek Mill, I feel like during my workout, I feel like I'm taking an L.
Why?
Oh,
I mean, because why do I want to listen to a loser, bruv?
Wait, what?
You heard me. I didn't start up.
That has nothing to do with anything, though.
No, because for me, I can't listen to anybody. I like.
To catch you to the though.
No, yeah, but I haven't been to the gym since.
Oh my days!
No, because this happened only like a few days ago.
Happened last week.
Yeah, I just okay. I went to the gym actually before, but I didn't listen to 6ix9ine. I was listening to No, I've got a little gym playlist. It's got obviously man like Izzy Gibbs.
Oh my days!
Because I'm just like, oh, lift the weight, obviously.
You know, wait,
Come on now.
Let me just interject, right? It's hilarious, okay? Because that's what that type of music's there for. Like no one's really. I mean, okay, I'm not really sitting in my house, right, listening to
liar
mumble rap and being like, yo, this is fire. Yo, did you hear the way you mumbled on that beat? Oh, damn!
Wait, what? Ric Flair. Like the nature boy.
That's out here in the gym, just Ric Flair drips.
I'm not like that.
When you steal it, diamond wearing.
You know, but
that way.
But like, if I just get to the basketball court, I need to warm up, right? I got my headphones on, and I'm listening to something I don't really even know what they're saying. I don't really even care what they're saying, right? However, though, there are some songs that are just too much for me. I
have a question then. Go. So because it doesn't really matter what they're saying, but the beat's all right, does that mean you'd listen to O'Malley Sway in the morning?
No, I do
that?
not.
What do you mean? What's that? Huh? Oh yes, we get to educate you. Oh my days. Take a ride on your bike, you ain't getting it back.
After the podcast,
I'll show you. I'll put a link into the description so other people can witness this too, because it is too funny.
No, there's just a few songs that I like, no matter what the situation is. I just can't stomach it. There's one artist, Lil Pump. I can't. Something about him.
I don't fuck with him at all.
I can't mess around with Esketti.
One time he said him and his grandma do the same drugs. I'm like, well.
I can't stomach Esketti. I can't stomach what's his name? Gucci Gang. I can't stomach what's the other one? D Rose. That is the worst song
I didn't even
No
know that. I didn't even know that was a song.
Go listen
Was
to
it
it.
I heard you.
No, why would I sully my ears, bruv?
And if you can, stomach 30 seconds, stomach 30 real seconds, I will drop you some money. I'm talking
Wait, how are you making
stomach.
about,
How
how you
much
making
money?
talk about a basketball player who's literally been on the decline
Oh.
because of his bad
I
knees?
feel so. Quick side note. D-Rose, man, feel bad for you, man. Life's cool.
Just
I don't feel bad for him. He's still making bare money, bro.
That's not the point, though, bruv. Like it's that I didn't think. You know, we'll talk about this after the podcast.
yeah. At the end, I got a challenge for you, Sleep. At the end of the podcast. So
How much money am I getting out of it?
we'll talk about it at the end of the podcast.
No. Talk about it now. I want it on record.
Yeah, how long you tell us about being a
Oh,
okay.
okay. Right. At the end. Moving on. R. Kelly. This is the last topic.
Oh God.
He's back again. This time,
Jump to the closet.
this time words coming out of his own mouth rather than articles and other things, right? He dropped a 19-minute song claiming to talk
Has
about...
anyone listened to it?
I have.
Actually, the full.
I listened to all of it.
listened
to it.
Listened to all of it twice.
What, from start to finish?
All of it twice,
Yeah.
start to finish. Every single word.
Boy.
And the second time I listened to it, I heard the line about dyslexia and not reading the contract properly, and it pissed me off. And I was like, "Yo, I can't." Anyway, point being is, he talks about, he claims everything, and he really does talk about a lot that really has relevance to nothing. The idea of the song is he's expressing his feelings towards the whole situation he's been under, or the false accusations and or the being accused of all this type of stuff. And he's coming from a position of kind of the victim, and he feels that everything he's done means nothing now. People are tainting his name, and he doesn't own anything he's done. And the only way that he can really show people who he really is by singing or making music. And he decides to do that by making a 19-minute song. And if anyone does have the stomach to stomach 90 minutes of R. Kelly, go for it. The one thing I will say to you is that something about R. Kelly, despite all the other bullshit, just R. Kelly when he's on a song, something about that guy, it's just pleasing to listen to, man. Like, something about the way.
And that is why he gets away with anything that happens, because you know why? You forget.
This song is 19 minutes long, but I can clean up to this song. You know what I mean? I can clean my house to this shit. Like,
I can clean up to the song.
you know what I mean? I'm not gonna be in the gym working out to R. Kelly talking for 19 minutes. I'm not gonna be sitting in my bed like looking at the sky over the ceiling, listening to him. But if I'm cleaning up or something, I'll put it on. I'll be like, yo, R. Kelly, talk to me, man. What you saying? Right?
Well, tell me your secrets.
I touched it.
But no, he
Yes,
so
I did.
So I'm gonna quickly go over a few things that he talks about. And Shumo, if I miss anything, feel free to chip it. So he talks about one thing he talks about is him being accused for things and people making these lies basically before he's even really been found guilty or or innocent, right? So
yeah, but that's sorry to cut you up, but that's in general with how people are these days. Like
right.
you're guilty in the eyes of public opinion
until proven
yeah.
Until proven
All right,
guilty.
no, but the difference is there is like evidence of this. I swear there's a tape out there of him pissing on kids.
There is.
No, on a kid.
Okay, all right, on a kid. Regardless, that's still sexual misconduct.
Yeah, it's a kid
She
too.
consented.
It's a kid too. Like, that's crazy, bro. That's crazy, bro. Like, Big, I know.
No, well, apparently it's not him because
Big,
tattoos.
Because he was too busy being trapped in the closet, he couldn't get out.
Big in the world of America, that bullshit flies. But listen, man, that is crazy. Like, pissing on a kid is crazy. I don't care if you're R. Kelly.
Hey,
if you're the Pope.
most of us were actually the only reason we're here was because of R. Kelly. Really.
Hold on.
Oh my days.
Wait, what?
Oh my days. Go on, Big. Explain your point. The people
Is
want to
R.
hear
Kelly your dad?
No, I'm not saying he's my dad, but
So it sounds like it.
I don't even know my dad.
The people.
That's a lie, you do.
That's mad. That's crazy.
Hey,
Apologize to the people for your lies.
A lie for your blasphemous lies.
Apologize to the people for your lies.
For what lie? What lie did I tell?
I don't know, my dad. What are you talking about? Anyway, so he talks about being boss.
What a tangent.
It talks about
Before you defend this guy, do you know the extent of what this guy has done?
Yes.
Go on,
Yeah?
tell us.
So you understand that he married a 15-year-old girl
I know. I'm just playing devil's advocate.
who was
No, you're not.
Aaliyah.
Yeah. I know that. Who doesn't know that? That's literally like hip hop knowledge. That's common hip hop knowledge about her.
That's pedophilia, my man. Right?
I think the only
Brian didn't know that, you know, he just consulted with a paedophile, like, hey.
Hey, each
The
state
family,
has a
her
different-
family had to get the marriage annulled.
Yeah, I know. Who doesn't know that though?
right. So okay, right.
So you're still defending the man, like.
Like, I'm just saying.
So you're
guys,
trying to say so you said most of us. So you're trying to include yourself. So let's just talk about you for a second. So you're trying to tell me that the only reason why you're here is because of a paedophile. Because it sounds like that's what you're trying to say.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro. So
The people just want answers.
so anyway,
That's not what I'm trying to say.
anyway,
That sure sounds like that's what you're trying to say.
big.
I'm
Stop.
not-
Let me
look,
say
Shut
it.
up, Peach. We're having a discussion. It doesn't involve you.
I'm trying to save you, man. You're digging the hole deeper. I'm trying to fill the hole, digging it deeper.
We got 45 minutes. Nah, he's gonna receive it, bruv. So what? For some reason, you're gonna say that your existence is solely.
I never said
around-
it was mine. I never said
You just said it was a
mine.
reason, though. So you're telling me that one of the reasons why
Okay,
you are
but-
here is because of R. Kelly.
I never said that. I was
But that's what
saying.
you're implying.
I was
Steven,
saying
is that not what he was implying?
The
Look,
reason
hold on.
why
The guy has been caught with child pornography in it. Like, there's not a lot to say.
If you defend him,
Like, if you want to claim this
I'm
piece
telling
of
your
daddy,
mum
my mum what?
that you're defending R. Kelly.
Calm,
you're
and
trapped in the
she'll-
parental
and then
closet.
she will play one of his albums.
Ugh, no. Oh my days.
Hey, big. I tried to save you, man. I tried to fill the hole. You kept
Disgusting.
digging.
I know why I'm here, and it's definitely not R. Kelly.
Wait, what are you
So,
doing?
I'm here because my dad's nuts.
Oh my day. Anyway, back to the R. Kelly situation.
Why you say for? Like what?
My days.
Because pissing on a kid ain't disgusting.
So yeah, so
Healthy. Got
part.
protein.
So okay.
What?
What? Oh no! Oh hell no! No, he's getting kicked out. No, hell no!
That's
No,
not
get out
even
of here.
scientifically accurate.
Get out of here! No, you're getting kicked. No, we need to do this podcast without him. No, I say your goodbyes now, innit? Because you're getting cut off right now.
Get
Say your
powered down,
goodbyes. Lie? Get out of here. Say your last words. You got 5 seconds.
Oh, so it's my birthday in 45 minutes. So I have a birthday to me.
All right, cool. You've gone.
Man.
Now that Big has left, can we continue?
Was he left or kicked?
Let's go.
Where has this podcast gone to?
Apparently pedophilia.
Right. Oh my goodness.
Oh, good lord.
I wait for Big to return back to
Don't
us.
worry, he's already got the invite. He's on his way back in.
I wait for him to return back to
There
his.
he is. There he is.
Ah, Baba.
Big, I ain't gonna lie to you. You deserve it. Anyway. so he also talks about him not owning his songs. Now, he talks
Socks.
his songs. Sorry, his songs.
Oh, I thought you said socks.
I said, don't own my socks. Whose socks are there? It's victims.
Oh, blow him off. Oh god. Yeah, so
What was that?
Oh no, we're done. This podcast is finished, bro.
No, let's go for it, man. Let's go for it.
Oh my god.
So he talks about his music, not only his music, right? He talks about what he talks about.
I've not loved
He
this
talks
much.
about Ignition. I think it's Bumping Grind. He talks about those songs, and I'm not owning them because the label owns them. And he talks about his contract, and when reading his contract, he discusses that he didn't read it correctly, and he kind of blames it on dyslexia, and him having dyslexia, so he can't read the. Anyway, it's dumb. It got me frustrated. I was like, so why? So he also talks about one of the stuff that he talks about. He also talks about the idea of what is a sex cult.
Yeah, this is
Okay.
what pissed me off. He come out with like, what is the definition of a sex slave? What is the definition of a cult? Bruv, if you're asking these questions, that's how you know he did that shit.
Yeah.
What do you mean? What is the definition?
Hey, I'm just saying, yeah. Do you think those girls were there on their own will?
Oh yeah, they wanted fame and fortune.
Dude, like,
Okay then, so.
Right, but they're young. This is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Like, he goes
we're
on
not
to
saying this.
say-
We're not saying this.
So what do you mean?
he goes on to say, flipping like, don't bring your daughters to my concert because it's like it's okay or something like that.
pretty much. He basically
And he's saying like, I'm saying this as a concerned father because I also have a daughter. Bruv,
I mean,
what are you
Right.
talking about?
I
You're
mean,
fucking
what he's
girls that
getting
could be
at,
your grandchildren.
right.
I mean,
So,
any holds a goal if no matter the size of the
boy,
goal, right?
you better leave today. Today.
This is my server.
Right. So Shumo, thank you very much for chipping in. He basically is trying to justify his actions
He's
by
just nasty,
saying
bro.
that there are certain parents with their kids that make it that basically force their kids on him, and because of that,
Oh, mad.
and because of for fame and money. That's basically what he's saying. He's saying that there's parents that are forcing their kids, using their kids to get the fame and money and report him and sue him, basically, right?
Yeah.
Like Michael
I'm
Jackson.
sure there are people like that in it, but
Ma-
you can say no in it. You're like
That's
a
the
big
thing.
50-year-old man.
Do you know what I mean, Shumo?
That's me.
That's
With
the-
big age like that, and you can't say no. Like, it's like, oh, guess it's already here. Guess I'm gonna go slide in.
right? To kind of put the R. Kelly thing to bed. He talks about Spotify and how they take his money away, taking him off the playlists and whatnot, without being accused, of only being accused and not being found guilty yet. And he's talking from a perspective of he's this famous guy who is now broke, and all his money and fortune is pretty much going, and he's got a family to look after, and how he's a human being, and how his how he speaks to his, I think it was his mother-in-law, I think it is, or something like that. One of the people in his life, and asking them for help and guidance. And all in all, my thing is, R. Kelly, right? I get what you're trying to do. I understand it. I'm not stupid. You may fool some people in the comment section talking,
But you ain't gonna fool me, nigga.
right? Talking about R. Kelly, we feel for you, and the first step to the path of enlightenment is to remove all your sins and talk and air it all out and be honest. We're so proud of you for being honest. My thing is, R. Kelly, first and foremost, don't play the victim card now things are going bad. That's number one. Number two, if you're just a human being and you have feelings, thoughts, you make mistakes too, where was that energy when it was the keys to ignition? Okay, where was that energy then? Alright? You talking about how you fuck all these bitches and you do all this, that and the third and you enjoy it, and the people that you do it with, they somewhat want them to pull their hair and choke them all that bullshit. Where was that energy for other people that have been in that situation too? You didn't seem to care about that.
Get 'em.
You got caught, okay?
Get 'em.
So R. Kelly, that's my final take on you is it's not
I
gonna
will still
work.
listen to your music. Your final take is Pete. You'll still listen to his music.
It's,
Who's listening to his music?
It's
I haven't listened to Remix to Ignition in a real long time out of my own accord.
No, but listen. It's not gonna work. Okay. The stupid thing about him is that even when you do listen to his music, guys, half of the money that he would get from it doesn't go to him. That's his point. His thing is he's saying that he doesn't own half of his songs. And he's saying that he's losing out income because there's places that are not playing his songs, right? And they're not even his songs in the first place because they're the label's songs, and obviously the label's gonna keep him because motherfuckers doing sex cult shit. So the thing is, my point is, R. Kelly, don't now all of a sudden play this Me Too movement. He talks about Hugh Hefner. I think he talks about Hugh Hefner. He's saying that he was having sex with loads of people and he had loads of women and all that type of stuff.
Were they not all of age though?
Wait, and how?
I doubt it.
And how we all idolize him. But now no one idolizing, but everyone's tearing him down for the same thing. And I'm like, 1, it's not the same thing. 2, that's a different person. 3, stop trying to throw your responsibilities on somebody else. And 4, you're not him.
Yeah.
So
he even goes on to say something like, a family member touched him when he was a kid from like 14, from like a child to like the age 14 or whatever. Like, don't get me wrong, that's fucked up, but it's also not an excuse.
That's my point. R. Kelly seems to think that he can just talk about everything and it will give validation to all his actions. And it doesn't. In fact, it just makes you think to yourself, if all that stuff happens and you had all that shit going on, why the hell are you acting that way? Because that's what goes through my mind. So I'm done talking about R. Kelly. If anyone wants to add anything else, big, if you want to play devil's advocate, go for it. Go for it.
Go for it. I dare you.
I just. Oh,
in other news though, for reading up this morning, or watched this morning that Logan Paul, you know the whole Suicide Forest thing, yeah, he's actually making a documentary about that.
Whoa. Hold on. Say that one more time.
So you see the whole. So Logan Paul has said that the whole situation with the Suicide Forest stuff, he's going to make a documentary about it.
Now, I only have one question, and I suppose I'll pose this question to you guys. So if this thing were to be filmed, to get out of the KSI fight, do you reckon he'd then hang himself there?
wait, what?
Oh, because I feel like it would be, just because he filmed somebody else do it. Like, might as well film himself doing it.
Wait.
That's right. I said it. I hate that guy.
Are you trying to imply that
he should kill himself?
Logan Paul?
Bitch, I might be.
It will attempt to kill himself for 1, to get out of a fight with KSI.
I'm not gonna lie, that's the weakest excuse.
for two, money and fame and free views on YouTube.
Probably. Would you put it past him? But I wouldn't be surprised if we did it like as a prank as well. Like, I feel like he just throw it back in people's face. Like, it'll be the rope and everything. He jump out, the rope would just come undone. It'd be like, aha, you thought.
You know what? As much as I despise Logan Paul for no reason.
I won't lie. I was just saying that for the dark humor aspect. I don't hope he actually kills himself, but I do hope he gets bodied.
Oh, yes, you do. Don't lie. Don't backtrack on what you said.
What do you mean?
R. Kelly.
What did I say about R. Kelly? I never said I hope he died. Who said that?
But my thing is, I put that past.
Well, it's been the power of that podcast. It's been a way bigger.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Anyone else want to add anything else?
Just a random story that go on.
Oh, I've got one thing to tell you lot, as a news story.
Oh my God.
And I also have a question related to that news story.
Oh my God, yes.
So, sticking with the entertainment.
Can I answer the question first? Oh, I know. Never mind. Ignore me.
So, all right. So the headline reads: Chief Keef announces worldwide hologram tour kicking off in London.
Wait, what? Wait, what's so funny? Wait,
Chief Keef.
Listen, Chief Keef announces worldwide hologram tour kicking off in London.
Oh my god! If anybody ever goes to that, you are removed from my life.
Listen, Chief Keef is teaming up with Hologram USA Incorporated to announce the Chief Keef and Icons of America music tour. Icons of American Music tour. The 90-minute experience kicks off in London August 31st and September 1st, before moving to the 22-year-old's hometown, Chicago, starting a trek across the United States, details of which have not yet been announced. Now, the question is this genius or just lazy?
Lazy? And also genius.
Yeah.
It's unfortunately both.
Yeah.
Because it means you could just... Because obviously the holograms are most likely preloaded. You could be playing in multiple venues at the same time.
I think...
Well, it's lazy because it's just like, raw, like, you can't even just... Like, he's got money. Like, what, you can't catch plane, no?
No.
Well, he can't come over here because of his violent crimes.
Oh, good.
My thing is...
Nigger.
What?
With a hard R.
Wow, you said that with an ER. God damn. I got hurt by that. I hit me in the chest.
Oh, I hurt a little bit saying it. I was like, oh, I'm sorry, Chief.
No, I think it's lazy. The reason why I think it is because I think he didn't do much research when it came to the hologram thing, because the Tupac and Michael Jackson were holograms.
That was mad.
And that didn't really seem to kick up as much traction as you think it would. Like the initial shock of it, oh my god, yeah, but if you think about it, who else did it after that? Did Elvis do it? Was there an Elvis hologram?
I think people really freaked out about it.
I think there was an Elvis one in Vegas or something like that. But this isn't the first time he's tried to do this. So he had an initial hologram concert in Indiana, and it got shut down by law enforcement within minutes in like 2015.
Eesh.
But this seems to be something he's passionate about because he wants to carry it on and take it worldwide.
Yeah, I think okay. So from my perspective, I don't think I would want to go and see that. But at the same time, it's like, is it even exciting enough for me to be like, oh yo, a holographic music experience is coming to London? I just can't see that really drawing me in. The other big names that did it or had a hologram, they didn't seem to really work as well as it should have. So I think it's lazy.
Well, I think the difference with that is those artists they had passed away, right?
Yeah.
So that's where the draw of that is. He's still alive. Like he's probably going to be chilling in a yard while his concert's going on.
Doing bow, 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 bow.
My worry is,
Waka Flocka.
if this takes off, will other artists do it as well?
No, oh my god, it's so lazy though.
You see Little Pump holograms, you'll see music holograms.
Don't.
You see Guacamole man them with their holograms.
Guacamole.
The only hologram that I think would be funny to watch is Designer's hologram, because Designer is a retard on stage. So
Wow. Designer.
What did you say?
To see this
Designer.
to see this hologram freaking bouncing around would be so hilarious.
Come on.
I wonder what
Bro, you sure you're not Designer? You sound just like
Big's having a seizure.
I listen to Designer in the gym too. I listen to Designer in the gym as well. Anyway,
He's got a couple tracks I like.
yeah. I don't know too much about some of his new stuff now, though.
Bro, you did not sound convinced.
I mean, I like Designer, all that bullshit, but sometimes it can be a bit much. It can be a bit much.
Gratata.
Sound like double D at the end of the Ed and Eddie opening theme. Yeah. Right.
Great
Anyone want to add anything else before we wrap it up?
Just one really quick thing.
Yes.
As I was looking at the Tekashi 6ix9ine article, I saw another one to the right. Somebody got arrested for twerking underneath the Eiffel Tower. That's a bit mad. I was like, bro, like, is it that deep?
Hey,
Random thing.
Twerking underneath the Eiffel Tower.
Over in Paris, they don't give a fuck.
I was like, I thought Paris was kind of liberal about certain things. So I was like, oh, okay, right then. All right.
Yeah, get your ratchetness away from us.
Yeah. So
Yeah, that's true.
Sleep. Obviously, I had a challenge for you at the end, right? This is what I'm gonna end. This is what I'm gonna end the podcast on.
Oh, here we go.
I will give you £10. Mainly because I'm broke. I will give you £10.
Fucking broke boy.
If you can do a live reaction on your channel of D-Rose and enjoy it.
And enjoy it.
And hold on, why do I have to? Well, shouldn't I get the money for just listening to it? If it's that bad.
If you can, for stomaching. If you can stomach it, I'll drop you 10. I'll drop you a 10.
Oh wait, what is this a song?
In the stream?
D-Rose is a song. Live. You can't listen to it. Yeah, you can't listen to the Little Pump song D-Rose until you do it live on your channel. First time has to be public on your channel. Get copyright strikes and all that shit. Okay.
Sir, are on
£10.
Every now and then.
What? Let me paint the scene. I need your camera to be full screen. I need the
full screen.
I need the video to be small in the bottom left. Okay.
Okay.
So I want to see your big face. Okay. All right. I don't want to see your small face. Yeah. There you go.
I'm expecting this money to be dropped into my through the thingy.
Your
Don't
page.
leave.
I'm sending you my account details now.
I will.
It's not for you, bruv. What are you talking about? Fuck off.
What would you? It's for me, boy.
Big. You ain't even got a camera.
It wasn't extended to you.
Big, you ain't even got a camera.
Alive?
Big, you ain't got a camera.
What do you even have it? Do you even have a
Don't expose my settings.
No, you right. You right. My bad. You right. There you go.
Evil motherfuckers.
There you go, Steve. And I want you to tweet.
That's not your birthday. Man's out here for the handout when he can't even provide the requirements.
And I want you to tweet
I
out.
hope R. Kelly takes you.
I hope R. Kelly pisses on you and your family tree.
I want you to.
He's too old.
I want.
R. Kelly used to pee on kids back when Brian was 52.
Oh my days! Look,
Backyard style.
Oh my days!
Zero respect.
So it needs to be.
You know else's backyard style. Man, like certain man's
Whatless behaviours.
conquest.
You need to tweet it. You need to wait. Listen, I ain't finished the challenge yet. You need to tweet it and Instagram story it too.
And Instagram story too.
Yes.
Cool. I'll do all of that. I'll at him and everything.
And even the Snapchat too.
Calm.
That's it.
Easiest money I made.
That's it. I'll give you a 10. You gotta stomach that. You gotta listen to it start to finish, and I want to hear your thoughts on it because I can't wait to see your face as you digest that garbage. I just can't wait.
That garbage.
I can't wait. All right. That's it.
Why is that garbage?
That's it, people. Yeah. That's the Power Podcast. Done. Episode 7 for today. Give yourself a round of applause, people. Round of applause. Yeah.
Oh, these big tough hands are those.
So anyway,
you're slapping 2 bits of flint together.
You know what? Yeah.
We're gonna go ahead and close out with our socials. If you guys want to see, listen, or witness more PGG Power Guy Gaming, go check me out on youtube.com/PowellGuyGaming. I do live streams, I do vlogs, I do skits, I do story time stuff. Go check me out, man. I'll be playing No Man's Sky, ESO, and a bit of Destiny 2 on my channel as of recent. Go check me out, man. Big, where can people get more of Big Imperial?
You get more Big Imperial on YouTube. That's youtube.com/Big Imperial. Follow me on IG, which is Big Imperial. Follow me on Instagram. No, follow me on Snapchat, which is Autobots Unite. That's AUTOBOTS Unite at Snapchat and Twitter. What's my Twitter handle?
For some reason, you did not sound sure.
I lie. Big Imperial _. Yeah, those are my 4 social medias.
Right.
Check the boy out.
Shumo, where can they get more shoes?
YouTube sometimes.
Nice. Okay. At youtube.com/Shumo. I see you. Okay. All right.
It's actually youtube.com/Sam93.
Sam.93.
Yeah, when we get to 100, so I can change it.
It's kind of crazy because I remember watching some of your first live streams playing Star Wars Battlefront 1 year ago on Big Imperial's birthday. That was ages ago. That was literally 1 year ago. Yeah, right? Yeah, I'll be on the YouTube. I'll be scouting you.
Oh, that'll be here tomorrow.
I'll be scouting you. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, Sleep. When people are, cannot sleep, when they are sleepless, when they are feeling elite, where can they get more of you, Sleeps Elite?
Right, Instagram is at slp.eot. Twitter is at slp_eot. Feel free to add me on Snapchat. It's Obi1Kunobi. I don't use it like that because I don't care like that. And obviously subscribe to the YouTube channel, basically.
Yeah, man. We'll see you guys next Sunday for some more funny, awesome, creative news. Big talk. What were you going to say?
Hey, it's your boy's birthday in 20 minutes.
Hey, happy birthday, yeah.
Yeah, that no.
All right.
Now you get a 24-hour cop. You get a 24-hour pass.
From who?
The Lord, I suppose.
From life.
He ain't getting one from me. I did that one year and I almost died.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, people. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and share.
Slap the bomb out of it.
Latest, people.